Misery Brokers.
Coming up in part 2 of Neil Franklin, Fame and Fortune.
I am one of these people that once I get involved in something, I stick to it like glue. I didn't think of money in those days because money didn't exist. There are specialist ways of funding for this industry, and factoring is one of them.
Neil Franklin has made £102 million out of the telecoms boom. 8 years ago, he started a specialist recruitment agency for skilled telecom staff. Data Workforce is now one of the UK's fastest growing companies. Not bad for a man who started out as a kitchen salesman. How were you motivated then to carry on the business?
I am one of these people that once I get involved in something, I stick to it like glue. And no matter how hard it is, in fact, the harder it is, the more I stick to it. So I just persevered and just kept driving, never, I had this never quit attitude. For me, it was a question of success, but I didn't think of money in those days because money didn't exist. You were surviving literally on what you could survive on. We'd seen, the house market go out of control. We'd seen everything. Interest rates were spiralling. Mortgage payments were through the roof. So you had no choice. If you stopped and looked at the monetary aspect of it, you'd probably never do it. So I just kept driving. I just had this real, commitment to deliver it, and that was it. I just never gave up.
Were you making any money off those first businesses that you had?
Oh yeah, it was. The money was the easiest part. That was the problem. And of course, when you're young, you see, I'm a lazy person. I don't like work. And here's now you have to understand this.
Population, isn't it?
Yeah, but you see, now you've got to have the definition of work.
Yeah.
Work to me is doing something I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
So anything, cooking, if I don't enjoy it, which I do, but that's the wrong example. Gardening, I sometimes hate. That's work. If you ask me to go and wash a car, I will find the quickest way of washing that car, without exception. I will find, I'll just do it furiously to get it out of the way. I will work crazily just to get rid of it because I hate work. So this was work to me. This kitchen thing and this door knocking thing was work. I didn't enjoy it. So no matter how much money you could give me to do that, it wasn't for me. So for me, it was a case of let's find something that you can relax into, enjoy, and if you can make that your living as well, then you're really there.
So why do you think you enjoy it so much now, this business that you've got at the moment?
That's the question I can't answer. I mean, I do enjoy it. The fact is, it's not work to me now. What I do is pure enjoyment, and I earn my living from it. I don't know how. Obviously, it's what I was meant to do. You find your home, you just sort of float around, and all of a sudden, bang, you're there. You can't really explain how you got there, but you're there. And if I look back to the career path, I think of all the things I did. In the 80s, it was money. Oh, let's make money, because money's the thing, isn't it? Because you're conditioned to make money. Everybody you spoke to in the 80s talked about money. It wasn't anything to do with money, it's about personal satisfaction. And satisfaction for me was when I can go to Ericsson, supply them with a person, and they turn around and say, you've really helped. Thank you very much. That's satisfaction.
Now, I've read somewhere that you've said that you're the best person to represent the company. What happens when the company gets too big and you basically can't be everywhere at once? What will happen then?
What's the next best thing? You send your best. It's like an army would never dream of sending its senior officers into battle. So, but if you want to use that analogy, say I'm the field marshal, now we send the general in. Then we end up with the captains, the lieutenants. We just keep sending the best people forward all the time, and it's up to me to train them. So you don't have this situation where the business is purely dependent upon you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to drive it.
Yeah.
You have to keep on top of it.
So you don't have a problem with delegating and letting other people go out and represent the company then?
You have to learn to let go.
Yeah.
And that was a big struggle for me, I must say, over the years, is letting go. Because I do everything.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person, I'll teach an accountant how to do numbers. It's just in my nature. Totally wrong, whatever. I'll teach a chef, I'll walk in and say, no, you can't cook it that way. It's ridiculous. What's your qualifications? None. But, you can't do it. Why? It's in my nature. I don't know, So I question everything is probably the point I'm trying to make. And when you question everything, you always look to see if you can find a better way around it. Even though you have no knowledge of the subject. But to me that was irrelevant. Having knowledge was just like secondary. We get that later.
I've read that you regard yourself as unemployable. At what point did you realise this and decide to go off and do your own thing?
I don't think it was a question of me realising it. I think it was a question of everybody I work with or everybody I tried to work with. I couldn't. Because I have this, as I said to you, it's in my nature to question everything. So I'd go and work for a very large PLC, and within 2 hours I'd be knocking on the chairman or the CEO's door saying, no, this is wrong, we can't do this. Or this perception's wrong. So in life you either have a questioning nature or an accepting nature, and I have the questioning one. If you then want to further expand on that, the questioning nature can be so dominant that you question everything, and that was me in the early days.
Coming up in part 3 of Neil Franklin, Fame and Fortune.
We take 20-25% roughly of the charge rate. What we've done this year is restructure the whole operation. The office is just crazy. We've outgrown it already.